Hello everyone, it's Tom. I am back with another video for you. Today I am bringing you a Thorns of the Invoker Crusader GR push build. I will introduce this build with low gear with around 10,000 main stat in a 95 level GR for a simple devastation. This build is not the strongest in the current state of the game. Stronger and more efficient sets and builds are available, like Heaven Fury or Legacy of Dreams Blessed Shield. This build will not be a typical elite hunter with Furnace and Endless Walk set. It will be a little different and easily playable in an early stage of a new season. You can play with this in solo and group 2 without any modification. If you watch this video, you can see my follower use the Oculus ring. I didn't use its buff in all cases, so if you play in a group when nobody uses Oculus, this build will be still viable. I mean, you will have enough damage without this ring. Okay, first let's see this class set. First bonus causes a splash of thorns around your hero, not around the target. The thorns damage buff stack up to 25 times. And important, it doesn't refreshing earlier stacks. But because of the short duration of each stacks, attacks alone will rarely generate double-digit stacks. Blocking an attack also grants a stack, so a high blocking percentage is useful. It can lead to 20 stacks or more in some cases, so maximizing block chance is advised. Thanks to the 4-piece bonus, cast of Bombardment grants damage reduction in combat, but multiple casts of this skill only refresh this damage reduction bonus, it does not stack. With 6-piece bonus, the attack speed of Punish and Splash are increased by 50%, and these skills deals 15,000% of effective Thorns damage to the first enemy hit. Okay, all Invoker items are guaranteed to roll Thorns damage as a secondary stat. To gain the max benefits of the Invoker set, you should use Punish skill with Celerity rune for 15% block chance and more attack speed. Firstly, let's see your items and cube choices. Pick Sticker is the preferred weapon of this build. First, it has the superior attack speed of the dagger weapon class, which is 1.5. Second, it rolls up to 5 primary stats, meaning it can have high strength, vitality, cooldown reduction and increased attack speed, and its base weapon damage roll can be rerolled into life per hit or increased damage to elites. And lastly, its unique bonuses versus human and beast enemies are multiplicative and can lead to massive damage output in certain greater rifts. Okay, as for the cube choices. First is the convention of elements in ring slot with up to 200% temporary damage buff for 4 seconds. In armor slot use Belt of the Trove, it triggers the damage reduction for 4-piece bonus, so equipping this belt effectively grants permanent damage reduction. Okay, last I said this build is not a typical elite hunter, so in the cube use Blood Brother. This sword grants a 20% chance to block attacks. Blocked attacks inflict 30% less damage, and after blocking an attack, your next attack inflicts 30% additional damage. This unique affix only triggers of blocked melee or ranged attacks, ground-based damage and spells do not work. For maximum effect, combine it with items like Justice Lantern and Akarat's Awakening. So, Justice Lantern. It is really important. This is a block-oriented ring and most useful to Crusaders. Its unique affix provides damage reduction, which is equal up to 55% of current block chance. And it takes temporary block chance modifiers into account. The desired stats, strength, cooldown reduction and life per hit, other stats are guaranteed. Okay, the shield. Akarat's Awakening. Every successful block has up to 25% chance to reduce all cooldowns by 1 second. The base block chance is between 10 and 20, and you have a chance to get more block chance via primary stat. Ideal stats, strength, high block chance, cooldown reduction, increased damage versus elites, and Thorns a secondary stat. If you sum the possible block chances from Punish skill, Blood Brother sword and Justice Lantern, and lastly your shield. So probably you will be near at the max block chance, which is 75. So don't have to use Provoke with Hit Me rune, you can choose another one. I will talk about it in more detail in the skill sections. The another ring is Ring of Royal Granger. Desired stats: Strength, Socket, cooldown reduction, life per hit or attack speed, and Thorns as secondary stat. Thanks to this item you can use the Invoker set with Captain Crimson timings. This set provides cooldown reduction as well as resource cost reduction bonuses, and then scales your damage dealt and damage reduced according to both stats. The next is Flower of Time. You can able to use Pylon effect for a double time. The desired stats: physical damage, socket, cooldown reduction, life on hit or attack speed, and as secondary, Thorns. This is the best scenario, but unfortunately is not too easy to find the right one. The next is the Aquila Corvus chest. This reduces damage taken by 50% when at near a maximum resource. This can be an obvious choice because this build relies on a primary skill and do not spend any resource. Okay, now just a quick check for the best stats for remaining items. Just remember, all Invoker items are guaranteed to roll Thorns damage as a secondary attribute. Helm, Strength, White, Socket, life per hit for secondary pickup radius. Shoulders, Strength, Ores, area damage, cooldown reduction and half growth healing bonus as secondary. Bracers, Strength, White, physical damage and life per hit. Boots, Strength, White, Ores, armor for secondary pickup radius and half growth healing bonus. Gloves, Strength, attack speed, life per hit and cooldown reduction as for secondary physical resistance. Pants, Strength, White, Ores and Socket and life per kill and Thorns in secondary stats. Belt, Strength, White, extra life and Ores as for secondaries, life per kill and Thorns damage. Now the gems. If you want more toughness, use diamonds, and if you want more damage, use rubies in chest and pants, but rubies increase your armor too. For more cooldown reduction, use diamond in helm. In weapon, use topaz for Thorns damage. Okay, the legendary gems. Bane of the Trap. It increases damage done to enemies under any CC effect. At rank 25, it also gives a permanent aura of minor slow, effectively making the gem always works against all enemies within 15 yards. The next is the Bane of the Stricken. It increases damage taken by enemies from the player. Each attack made by the character will always apply only one stack of Bane of Stricken to one enemy, no matter how many enemies are struck. At rank 25, it also adds a multiplicative damage bonus against most powerful enemies like bosses and including Rift Guardians. Lastly, the Boyarsky's Chip. It increases Thorns damage. Upgrading increases the damage bonus even further. And rank 25, it also taunts the first enemy hit by any primary skill. If you balance your gear, your ideal life pool should be around max 7 or 800,000. Now the use skill and skill rotation. Punish is the single non-cooldown skill in this build. It will serve to amplify your Thorns damage through the Invoker 2 and 6 piece bonus. It increases attack speed from Celerity Rune. And finally, the extra 15% block chance is a good addition to maximize your block chance to achieve a 75%, which is the maximum. With this, you will support the block-based cooldown reset of this build. Iron Skin is a defensive staple of this class, and these builds are no exception. Use Flash Rune for the freedom of movement and more movement speed. You have already maximized your block chance without the Hit Me rune of Provoke. In this build, use another, which is Cleanse. The Cleanse rune for every affected enemies provides additional life on hit for 5 seconds. This is the main reason why you should choose this rune. The next will improve the efficiency of Provoke skill and the Invoker 2-piece bonus. This is condemned with Vacuum rune. It pulls enemies within 20 yards and every second increases the number of enemies it can pull. But important, this skill does not affect enemies with immune to knockback. Just remember, Provoke taunts enemies only within 15 yards, so with this skill you can pull more enemies. Icarus Champion is an obvious choice. Just take the advantage of the 35% damage increase, the protection from prophets, 150% additional armor, And lastly, the second life. Your last active skill is Lass of Valor with Unstoppable Force rune. While I do not have any spenders in this build, the Worn Captain Crimson scales your damage reduction based on your resource cost reduction, and this rune directly affects that. Now let us look through the passives. This build largely dependent on fast attacks and cooldowns, so it is no wonder Fervor is taken for the 15% attack speed and cooldown reduction bonus. The next is Iron Maiden. It is an obvious choice. It increases your Thorns damage by 50%. The increased attack speed is one of the most important aspects of your damage, so you couldn't avoid the Fanaticism, which provides more attack speed to your primary skills. And lastly, the Finery, with balanced source of both damage and toughness, increasing strength by 1.5% for every socket across your gear. Finally, the skill rotation. As you enter in the rift and find your target, activate Accurate Champion and use Later True as soon as possible with its cooldown. After that, pull enemies to yourself with the combination the Condemn and Provoke. With high attack speed and with the extra life on hit from Provoke, you are able to maintain your life easier with Punish, and it also increases your damage thanks to 2 and 6-piece Invoker set bonus. Activate Lass of Valor when you throw yourself in a bigger fight. Pay attention when activating Iron Skin Flash. It will reduce incoming damage and provides you better mobility and reposition in a fight. Okay, I used only 800 Paragon points and mostly non-ancient items. As you can see, these items are not too good with not the best stats. For example, my weapon, I should find another one with rerolled base damage. I want to show you a basic build which is easy to put together early in any season. You can find the defib planner link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to watch more, please don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And see you in the next one. Peace.